So I won't be able to use some of this. Some of it I will. Some of it I will, some of it I won't. Whatever I don't use, I'm bringing down to Mammy's. And they can burn it this winter. But I might need some of it for my couple next builds that I have. So it's better off to just save it. Save it for now. Whatever I don't use, it's going. Basically just making this pile of fucking mess, to be honest. But we're getting it done. That's the big thing. We're getting it done. Come on, pup. Oh, I'm going after them birds. Needs to leave those little birds alone. Clocked up, what, today? How many hours have I clocked up on this build? Or on the house in general? I put over 200. Sorry. I've put at least 600 to 800 man hours. Oh, for streaming? Yeah, actually. It's like 600, 620, 630. Something like that. We need to reach 1,000 to get sponsors. I don't know if it'll make us any more exciting than we are, but my channel any more exciting, but it'd sure be nice to have a cameraman, or to be able to pay myself to do better edits or something. I don't know. it'd be nice to have help with the channel. But yeah, we're up at like 6:30, something like that, 6:20. So now we're just fucking piling. There really is no rhyme or reason to this. I'll try to keep it separated as well as possible to make it easier to use in the future, but I'll be able to pick it from all angles now. Which means it'll be a lot easier. Be a lot easier to use. My biggest thing is like, don't let your fears stop you, right? Don't let some asshole on the internet tell you to stop. Because if I listened to the haters, I'd have stopped doing this a long time ago. I can say this though, there has been a lot more praise over the time than there has been down-putting. No, not as many people shit on me as there are people that give me motivation and say, hey, you're doing a good job or whatever. But, it only takes one person to ruin a man's confidence. Tell someone that they suck, sometimes they believe it, So, anyone wants to do this, just remember, don't give up. You're doing it obviously for good reasons, or you wouldn't be doing it, Now, I'm not the type to get on all fours and start barking and shit. Or do, I don't want to do stupid stuff to get my name up there. What you guys see me do on here is stuff that I would have done without the camera on. So, basically, I'm just allowing you guys in my life. And then you guys can see for yourself kind of what it will take to get where I'm at, Because I always used to think, like, how in the hell am I going to get there? There is right here where I am now, but back then I had no fucking clue how to get here. So I was just like, how do I get there? And to be honest, I just started a company, and that was renovating houses, painting, building, doing whatever, replacing shingles, roofs, whatever, siding, didn't matter. Whatever needed to be done, if I didn't have the tool, I bought the best tool. And I still have the tool, unless it burnt in my garage. And then I still usually, pretty sure I bought back the tool. But anyway. You just gotta, literally stay focused. It's like, what's the goal then? Once you figure out the goal, then you can accomplish something. So originally, my goal was to start a company so I could feed myself. I wanted to be able to feed myself and pay my bills. I didn't care about anything extra in life. I just wanted the basics. So that's what we did. I kept as busy as possible, but I worked for so cheap. I was only like 20 bucks an hour for a long time. And then I slowly went up $5 an hour a year. And then I started going like $10, $15, Sometimes I'd make a $10 jump each year. Sometimes I went $15 a year. Sometimes I went $5 after that, Either way, now I'm at $75 an hour. Some things $100, some things $65. But most of the time I'm $75, $85. But anyway, I realized that it's not about hourly, it's about value. It's about what you can bring. If you're an asset or a liability, I can pay a liability $75 an hour and they're probably worth it, right? But what type of value do you bring? If I'm bringing twice as much more value than the next guy and he's making the same as me, well, then I have leverage to ask for more. But you got to understand, in this business, someone can buy a house, pick out paint colors, hire a guy like me, flip the house, as long as they got a good deal on it, sometimes even not if they got a good deal on it, and sometimes, even double the value of the home, and they still get money. So if I'm the guy that can do that, then that brings more value and more leverage. So you're always looking for leverage, and you're always looking for more value. But leverage is value. So, you gotta remember, no matter what company you're in, you need to find leverage over your competitors. I don't really consider people my competitors. I consider them my, cohorts, really, in a way. But you need to find leverage over your clients, really. You need leverage over your demand. You need the leverage. Leverage is a great way to find value. So if I was just painting and I needed a carpenter all the time, then I wouldn't get anywhere, right? So I said, whatever, I'll paint and I'll replace the trim, and then I'll paint over it, right? So now I go around and replace all the raw as my crew preps the paint job, and then I go through with my sprayer and they back brush behind me, right? So we created leverage by me being all of the above, and a damn good painter at that. But I got lucky and I painted young. I painted young and I learned to keep clean. And then over the years, I worked with really good painters, and they rubbed off on me. They taught me their tricks, And that's what happens. Subsequently, I've trained a lot of guys how to be really good carpenters, and they no longer work for me. But that's how shit happens, They're not going to stick around forever. they're not going to stick around forever. Finding good help right now is the hard part. You can find help all day long, but finding good help, that's hard. Finding good help. Help that doesn't want to destroy your company because they're jealous, or help that doesn't care more about, you know, their couch or, you know, whatever. You know, people that put the company first, at least while they're on the job, just people that can be reliable, held accountable, and be reliable. You know, people want paychecks nowadays, even if they don't show up. Those stimmy checks got everybody's heads all messed up. Those stimmy checks made people think that they were worth something even when they did nothing. Those stimmy checks really messed it all up for us. Because now you go to look for a good worker, and they're thinking, what do you mean? The government will give me money for free. Why would I work for you? You know? Either that or they feel like they have leverage over you. Because in their mind, they know they don't have to work, right? Working is just like extra money nowadays. Because these people are robbing the government blind as they do these part-time jobs, and then they go and they sit on their ass for the rest of the month, you know. A lot of these guys, literally, they show up for sometimes only one paycheck. Now, granted, they can make $1,000, $2,000 a week with me. However, they'll show up for one paycheck, and then you never see them again. It's like, now they're rich. Because usually, let's just be honest, the laboring industry, you know, hard work, doesn't really attract the finest of people all the time. I'm not saying there isn't good people in laboring companies, but because the ones that are successful have really good people, right? And a lot of the times, the more successful companies are people that have big families and they're all working for the same company, and they have their name behind that brand. So they don't want to screw it up because it's their name too, you know? So all I got to say on that note is make a huge freaking family. And I mean huge. And then you have all your kids help with the, you know, they help with the company, and they don't want to screw it up because it's their name too. It's their inheritance too, right? But the first people that are going to screw you over are your family or your friends. They'll lie and they'll cry and they'll claim victim, but The first people are the ones you hold dearest. What's up, Mom? Oh, Jesus, DJ. Man, I'm sorry that you have chemo, brother. Hey, Mom. You know, I remember you told me that too, and I totally forgot that you've been dealing with that. That's fucked up. Never ends, does it? Well, we forgive you for not being here, DJ. Don't worry about that. I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried about your health, really. So, tell him, DJ. Oh, hell yeah. We eat nails for breakfast. Check it out. Got the wood pile cleaned up. Now I just got to get the spring rake over here. I'll put a spring rake to this and get all the junk out of there. Leave the rocks behind, and we'll put the trash in the trash, and it'll look nice. And of course, I put the spring rake back, but we have to put all this stuff back in the trailer. So once we put this stuff back in the trailer, we'll pull that spring rake out. Yep. Well, it's good you're a fighter. That shit is horrible for the body. I would be super careful taking too much of that shit. And I would be very careful with experimental. I'm sure you know very well. It eats the organs from within. The body can't take too much of it. That's how my stepfather passed away. At the end of the day, I mean, it was the cancer, but it was the chemo that just it thinned his organs out so much that they just perforated. It's fucking horrible. And I'm sorry to talk like that. I understand that you're real with it. You're like, just letting you know my experience and how that happened. But just be careful. He did a bunch of experimental drug. Like he was very late. He was trying, but he did a lot of experimental stuff, and it messed with him. He did the normal runs, but they really weren't working as well. But he got better when he got off of it, and then he tried to do more experimental stuff, and it was too much. Ended up being too much. So just be careful, brother. I know you're already like dealing with it, so there's nothing you can do about it, but I just hope that you get better. I pray for you. I pray for you, man. I'll be praying for you Friday, too. Because I know that shit takes a long time. It's like 8-9 hours. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get these damn drop cloth parts. Yeah, we'll just spring rake that. I gotta run a magnet over here. I still haven't yet. We will in a second though. Because we have to get this trailer opened up. See this tire? It's tilting like this. So we're gonna jack this trailer up. And I gotta take the tires off, both tires off. And just see what the hell is going on. I'll get the whole trailer up on jack stands. And just see what the hell is going on with that axle. It could be a leaf spring. It could be the leaf spring shackle. It could be the leaf spring mount assembly, rocker arm. Could be so many different things. But let's get this wood unloaded first. And then we will figure it out from there. Yeah, I was thinking it could be the hub. Right. Yes, it could be the hub. The whole hub assembly, which would suck because it's I don't know. It's a brand new axle. It's got brand new everything on it. All right, chat. I'm gonna go take a lunch break. Hell yeah. I'm gonna take a quick break, everybody. You wanna go check it out real quick before we go? So I used a couple of pieces of metal around, because this is my metal yard. It's basically my metal scraps that didn't fucking deform and turn to liquid.